Hello, and welcome to our short clip about the human ear. My name is Robin, and this is Heron. And today we will be talking to you about the physiology and structures of the human ear. Let's get started. This is the outer ear. Let's begin with the pinna, the most superficial part of the ear. The pinna is made of cartilage and is used to bring sound waves into the ear. We will think of the pinna as a megaphone, but instead of projecting this sound outward like the megaphone, the pinna channels all the noise into the external auditory meatus. The pinna also has landmarks on it, but these landmarks can vary just like the unique personality of each individual. The first part is the helix. It is along the ridge of the pinna. Next we have the antihelix, the eminence that we consider to be the body of the ear. We have the antitragus, which is a triangular cartilaginous portion. Lastly, we will notice the depression inside the ear that is inferior. This is the concha, where sound waves are funneled into the external auditory meatus. Continuing with the outer ear, we have the external auditory meatus, or also known as the EAM. This is where sound waves are funneled from the pinna. Inside the EAM, cerumen, or also known as earwax, is produced. This protectant is produced in the outer 1/3 cartilaginous portion of the outer ear. The remaining 2/3 is a bony portion of the external auditory meatus. The EAM tunnels sound waves into the tympanic membrane. The tympanic membrane, or also known as the eardrum, is a concave structure that is cone-shaped and divides the outer and middle ear. The tympanic membrane is also used to transfer acoustic sound waves into the middle ear. The middle ear is an air-filled chamber that begins where the tympanic membrane articulates with the malleus. The malleus is one of the 3 bones in the middle ear, which are also known as the ossicles. The ossicles of the middle ear are called the malleus, the incus, and the stapes, and are the smallest bones in the body. The ossicles translate the acoustic energy into mechanical energy to bridge the gap created by the distance from the outer ear to the inner ear. The movements of the tympanic membrane vibrate the ossicles, which pivot together in motion. This translation of energy is referred to as an impedance matching system. The last action that takes place in the middle ear is the hitting of the stapes on the oval window. The stapes hitting the oval window displaces fluid on the other side of the oval window, which begins the action of the inner ear.
When the stapes hits the oval window, it pushes the fluid on the other side. The other side of the oval window is the beginning of the inner ear. This is the bony labyrinth, and it is filled with a fluid called perilymph. This fluid travels up the cochlea via the scala vestibuli and communicates with the scala tympani at the helicotrema at the apex of the cochlea. The fluid then travels down the cochlea via the scala tympani. The third duct of the cochlea is the scala media, which contains endolymph. Within a cross-section of the cochlea, we can see the 2 membranes, Reisner's membrane and the basilar membrane, which create the scala media. Resting on top of the basilar membrane is the organ of Corti. The organ of Corti, stimulated by its outer hair cells, reacting to the movement of fluid within the membranes, sends signals to the brain via the cochlear nerve. This is the vestibular system. It is responsible for our position, balance, and orientation in relation to gravity. The first part of the vestibular system is called the utriculosaccular system. This is made up of the utricle and the saccule, which are located in the vestibule of the inner ear. The utricle is responsible for horizontal motion, and the saccule is responsible for relaying vertical motion. The utricle and the saccule each have maculae, which send sensory information off to the brain via the vestibular nerve. The next part of the vestibular system are the three semicircular canals. There is a superior, posterior, and lateral semicircular canal. At the end of every semicircular canal are ampullae. The ampullae each contain a crista. The crista is the end sense organ for the semicircular canals and is the last step before the information is sent off through the vestibular nerve to meet up with the cochlear nerve and make up the auditory nerve. This is our review of the beginning of the auditory pathway. The auditory pathway begins with the outer ear.
From the outer ear, the pinna will pick up sound waves and tunnel them into the external auditory meatus. From the external auditory meatus, sound waves will travel down through the tympanic membrane. This will cause vibrations.
As the acoustic energy of the sound waves vibrates the tympanic membrane, it sends information to the ossicles of the middle ear. The ossicles of the middle ear are triggered by the vibrations of the tympanic membrane and use a pivot-like manner to relay this information via the stapes pressing into the oval window.
From the stapes displacing fluid from the oval window, the displacement of fluid goes into the cochlea and travels all the way to the apex where the helicotrema then communicates with the skeleton pinnae and the organ of Corti, then uses its outer hair cells to relay information into the central auditory pathway.
The vestibular system is our last stop in the inner ear. The vestibular system uses its maculae and ampullae's crista to send information off through the vestibular nerve where it will meet up with the cochlear nerve and begin the central auditory pathway. Thank you for watching our video.